Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. So, two conditions. One is ijab. Someone must have to propose, and you can say, I'm selling you, and I can say, I want to buy this. And then you say, okay, I'm okay with that, with all the conditions, then it's fine. Okay. It has to be in past tense. The reason is because in Arabic, the past tense is the confirmed one, is the perfect one. All the rest, present and future, are imperfect. Unlike Urdu in English language, where you have even present as a perfect tense. So I am doing it, or I do it, then that's perfect as well. It's not for future. It's not uncertain. It's not imperfect in that sense. If I say, I will sell it to you, that's imperfect. There's no definitiveness there. I may not. I'm putting as a possibility rather than a definite something. Yes? It's like inshallah, when people don't mean it and they say inshallah. It means that no, I'm not going to do it now. It's like for future becomes like that now. So khiyar qabul, you accept it when you're there, and if you don't want to accept, that's fine. Majlisul aqd, in the same gathering, you just accept it. You sold me something, you say, I want to sell you this for say £500. You say, oh, okay. You didn't say okay, sorry. You didn't say okay. You went home. 3 days later or next day, you said in Isha, you came back and you said, oh, I buy it. No, it has to be, the acceptance has to be within the same majlis. So you can't say, but yeah, you're about to sell me that. Then you're asking me for an Isha that I'm okay with that. So that would be considered a new offer. Then I can return back and say, oh, okay, I accept it. Then it could be yours. You see what I mean? But cannot be with the initial offer. There has to be offer and the acceptance in the same sitting, same majlis. Same majlis means that we are in the same discussion area, could be same, but we're still discussing the same thing. We start, I said, I want to sell you this for £550. And you started talking to him about, oh, what about this Gardan? Okay, let's go. You went into that. Or you started reciting your Amma Salu. And 5 minutes later, you said, okay, I accept it. No, majlis change. You're not no more in the same scenario. The scenario, the context should remain. You change it already. Or you moved out. You went to the toilet, did your wudu and come back. I accept it. I wanted to do after wudu. So I'm in a purified state. Mashallah, that's done. You can't do it. It is null and void. That acceptance is gone because you have changed the majlis. It has to be the same majlis. But you're asking me, that could be a new offer. Then if I accept, then it's fine. It's a point, it's important that when we apply it to the present, whatever happening in the world, they will all fall in place. And you say, oh, okay, now I know why that is not allowed. Why ulama said that? Because everything looks similar to you, because you don't know all those basics. Yeah. After that, now that I saw you've been interested in that, okay, it's now 600 actually. Then it's up to you. You might reject it. Yeah, exactly. So majlis al-aqd, okay, same situation, same place, on the same topic. Could be any scenario. We've done that before, but just making sure that okay. So once this acceptance has happened within the same gathering, no one can change it unless they both agree for certain reason. But the one-sided, how can you one-sidedly nullify that contract? As I mentioned, khiyari ayib. If there was a fault found, which is normally not found, which shouldn't be there, and is given that shouldn't be there. For example, you try to do something, and one of the most important function of the phone is that you can check your emails, for example, and you notice that you can't check on this one. There's no facility for that. I don't know, whatever. So if that facility is not there, which is supposed to be there, or you can't even receive phone calls, you can only call, no one can call you back, or the other way. So that's that is something which is built in. It has to be there, and it's not there, which means there's a problem. So a defect which is found in your mabi'a is the sold stuff, the item. In the mabi'a, anything which has been sold, if there was a fault found at some point after you have left, then you have the right to reject that or cancel the contract. The second one is khiyar ru'ya. As I mentioned, if you didn't see the thing, you accepted it with all the description the man has given you, and you accepted that. But when you looked at that and you never saw it before, you've never seen it before, and now you said, you know what, my impression was different. Obviously, if you're lying, that you're lying. This is between you and Allah. You knew it, but you change your mind. You can't. Shar'an, make sure that we are talking about Shar'an. You can't just twist and turn. You say, my impression was this based on whatever. If you did that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you're doing corruption. The person then has to, the qadi will say no. Did he see it? He said no. Then even if you know that the person is lying, you can't charge him. You have to accept, okay, now you have to return it back because you didn't see it. That is why this ru'ya, the chances of returning something or cancelling the contract with the idea that I haven't seen the thing before is accepted. It's called khiyari ru'ya. Khiyari aib, khiyari, say it a few times. Khiyar means the choice. Khiyari aib, khiyari ru'ya. Khiyari aib, khiyari ru'ya. Khiyari aib, khiyari ru'ya. Ru'ya means saying. Ru'ya. Ru'ya te haya hilal committee suna na? Wohi, ru'ya. Ru'ya means to see. Sight. So if there's something which a defect that came about after you bought it, and it wasn't there before. It wasn't there as a default. It wasn't there because there was small, cub, and it is or the kid who just grew up and to the point that no one knows. That's a natural defect. Someone is born with that. That's not a problem. That's nothing to do with him. That wasn't something that he hid. The person didn't hide it from you, and that is potentially a risk everyone would take. So I bought 50 chicken, hoping that half of them will be male and half female or whatever, but they all turn out to be male, and you feel, oh my goodness, I can't get it. That's no one's fault. That's not a fault. That's not a defect. It's a natural thing. Some people are like that. Some animals are like that. So it depends on what the defect is. So sometimes the defect may be that he hid it, and that's the idea, that the person didn't tell you, or it was a defect which fails the purpose, which just kills the purpose. The purpose was to utilize it. You can't use it because that defect was there. Yeah. So let's carry on a couple more minutes till everyone turns up, and then we move on to. We just finish it. Then they're lying, is it? So if they say that this is if there's a way you can test it and verify it, that's fine. But if you've seen that animal and you said that we have done whatever we could do, it's a possibility, then you've taken that risk. That's your choice. As long as you've seen the animal, you think that whatever they could do, they've done it. That's your choice, and that's your luck as well. But if they say it's definitely pregnant, based on that, you're buying that animal, hoping you knew it, that it's going to give you some babies, one or two, or whatever is your luck. It turned out to be a false pregnancy or no pregnancy at all. Then you know that he lied. So then yes, that's aib. That's like there's a leeway there. So generally, for whatever is within the control of the individual, as long as they are not shying away or hiding away something from you, and they didn't lie about that, and that's a natural defect that happened, that's fine. Otherwise, the qadi would say, yeah, you have to return. However long it took, however long you found out it, yeah, as long as it is established the defect was not, it has not come up after it was with you. For example, that it was with you for a few weeks, and then developed some, say a limp. And that's because you didn't realize that the animal had to jump off the cliff or whatever, and then broken the legs, and that's there is aib, but that's nothing to do with the person who sold it to you. It's your not looking after the animal the way you should.
Sometimes pregnancy is सारी चीजें नजर आ रही है, लेकिन सूडो निकलती है. अब इसमें और दूसरा ये है कि sometimes कोई जानवर ऐसा है जिसको वायरस आपके यहाँ इन्फेक्ट कर गया है, लेकिन वायरस सामने आता है 3-4 दिन के बाद, वो जो भी बच्चा मर जाता है, उसमें क्या मामला है?
So as long as the person knew that if the person said that, well, we have got few viruses going around, and this animal was with us for 4 days, he disclosed it to you, and you took your chance. He said that, we kept that animal here, 200 meters away from the animal which are infected. We have isolated them, so the chances are that they wouldn't have got it. And based on your experience, normally it doesn't travel that fast. It is contagious disease, yet if you separate them, it doesn't go that far. But luckily or unluckily, it did. So then you have seen it automatically. You have done that. You decided based on knowing all that fact, then it's okay. Then you do not have that fear. But if you didn't know, they never told you, they never disclosed that we've lost 5 sheep, like last week with that infection, and you only found out afterwards, then that's a khiyar. Then you would have the khiyar. Likewise with the pregnancy. The pregnancy is pseudo, or that's that anyone can get fooled by that apparent pregnancy. So they haven't lied to you. They just showed you whatever they had, and you had the chance to look at the animal and decide. So you decided based on looking at the animal with your experience. So even if that experience wasn't the good or enough experience, that's your fault. It's not his fault. So that is a luck. That's a pure bad luck, inshallah.
Sometimes होते हैं कि आपके पास लेकिन हुए हैं और वायरस आ गए, आप क्या करते हैं कि बाकी में ना फैले, आप लोगों को दे देते हैं और कहते हैं कि आपके पास चांसेस ज्यादा है क्योंकि वायरस फैलेगा नहीं, किसी को ना लगाओ तो बच जाए, अगर बच गया तो पैसे दे दीजिए। क्या ये जायज है?
ये इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल है। इसको करते क्लास के बाद इसको बंद कर लेते ताकि हम लोगों को क्लास में